Hello and welcome to TechnoPoverty. I'm Henry. My host Jacob has been MIA, missing for 3 sessions so far. He was sent out on a mission. He's out there traveling in the world, sometimes phasing into the chat, but I don't know what's up. I'm trying to find ways to sneak new friends onto the show without the bigwigs catching whiff of what I'm doing. But hope y'all are having a happy Monday out there. For those just joining us, TechnoPoverty is an excuse to play video games and discuss books, to read books and discuss video games. We've been playing Jet Set Radio Future and talking about counterculture, subculture, rebellion, outlaw culture, the concept of alternative networks to the mainstream society. We've been looking at Iceberg Slim's Pimp. We looked at You Can't Win by Jack Black, not Jack Black of chicken jockey fame. This was a traveling vagabond in the early 1900s, a gentleman cat burglar, if you will. He wrote an autobiography called You Can't Win. You Can't Win and Pimp were talked about the first 2 nights. Tonight we're going to talk about Herbert Asbury's Gangs of New York. That's going to be kind of the main focus of tonight. That's going to be the book for tonight's theme, but there's a few other things I want to get to as well, including this game. So, without further ado, let's pull beat back up. We will talk Gangs of New York. I sort of want to chat a few things while slowly easing back into Jet Set Radio Future tonight. Once again, welcome to TechnoPoverty. Let's have fun. Let me check in on the chat. You know what, D. Hamels Mammal? I too prefer black beans over pinto, and it is sadly Monday, everyone. But remember, Monday is a state of mind. Alright, when we last left Jet Set Radio Future, we were covering up the graffiti of the Immortals, a literal gang of mummies. We had initially been fighting the gang Poison Jam, who was tagging up the world and making things toxic for citizens to live around. Once we cleaned them up, the not the Golden Rhinos, the Immortals showed up, and they seem to be in service of ancient forms of just capital and excess. If Poison Jam were toxic to the environment, the Immortals are kind of a feature of the environment. They're like the pharaohs. They model themselves after the ancient Egyptians, and that's the same kind of landscape they inhabit. We're gonna make some graffiti before we go back out there and face off against those mummies. I made a large one last time, but I have an idea for a medium. It came to me in a dream. We sort of have an ongoing phrase here. And considering all that's going on, I wanted to make it explicit text rather than just commentary or meta text. That is a great thing about Jet Set Radio Future. Is while there's not complete character customization, you are allowed to express your sense of individualism through custom tags, picking one of the many characters on the roster. Yeah. As we create this tag, I just want to highlight that it was a very important set of days these past few days. It was May 4th, May the 4th, and I know plenty of people definitely know where I'm going with this. May the 4th, the day everybody knows as the anniversary of the Kent State Massacre. That's definitely why everybody celebrates May the 4th in America, and what is known in the pop culture about May the 4th. That's right, 3256. Ooh, yeah. Oh, awesome, Elman. Did you end up, I'm glad you were able to find a copy of that. Hey, what's up, Arash Mickey? We're making some custom tags in JSRF before getting back into the story. Yes, that is right, D. Hamels Mammal. May 1st is International Workers' Day. Today's also Cinco de Mayo, which is the day the Mexican independence from the French in 1862. All right, here we go. Blimp. Yeah, I'm getting really focused in on the meaning of this art. I'm not sure how much of it I should leave up to interpretation, how much of it I should make explicit. Of course, I bring up the Kent State Massacre anniversary because for a lot of people, May the 4th is Star Wars Day. I would love to just leave it in innuendo, but I'm going to bring it up explicitly just because the White House posted an AI picture of Trump in with a lightsaber doing Sith stuff, and the way people, the response to an elected official doing that should be, sir, we're trying to mitigate an economic collapse incoming. We'd really like to get back to the tariff situation. But Star Wars is such a pervasive cultural ghost, you know, going back to conceptions of like hauntology and ideas that guide us and Philip K. Dick and all that stuff we talked about during the fantasy round, that a lot of liberal politicians just kind of want to play in the sandbox with the president and hold lightsabers and do the Star Wars dance. And for some reason, everybody's reporting to teacher that they understand what Star Wars is about better than Donald Trump, when it's like, well, yeah, no shit, Red's the bad guys. It's a children's cartoon. I mean, not a cartoon. A lot of people are gonna get mad about that. Oh boy. But it is a children's entertainment. I love children's entertainments. But like, I'm a dude just streaming video games, painting in Jet Set Radio Future, talking books, doing a little weekly show for my friends about ideas I find interesting. I'm not at the levers of power. I think my discussion of pop culture and media is, yes, frivolous, but I'm also not. I'm not at the levers of power, sitting on the levers, not using the levers at times when the levers need to be used because I'm talking about Star Wars. It's strange and bizarre to me to see this type of posting, and of course it's an AI image. It's just come to automate propaganda. It doesn't make original ideas, but if you want to take an idea and bend it towards your specific propagandized need, it's extremely easy to do that with AI. Alright. I feel the background's missing something. All right, we've made the graffiti. Let's go. Let's pick it and use it. You can meme while gaming, you can meme while politics. You mess around with power and harm and the means at the same time, you stir trouble. I don't know if you should meme in politics is the thing, because isn't a lot of it about, I don't know, like creating a government is a system of creating a stable foundation by which the rest of society operates. You're going to have to rub up in unpopular ways against like pop culture trends and fans and sometimes be the killjoy. But actually, memeing in politics is sadly proven as like an effective means of, you know, what works when reaching out to the bases that will listen. I mean, the way right-wingers rallied around meme magic. Actually, I don't need any more graffiti in this. We're gonna get back to the game. But I guess I am trying to segue this all into talking about memes and political machines and gangs of New York, because that's something covered within Gangs of New York. Let's go fight these mummies. Yeah. There are conditions for memeing in politics. Actually, I take that back. That was kind of just a knee-jerk, bad mood Henry take as far as no memeing in politics. A politician has to kind of know the memes. This is something that's kind of refreshing to see about, like, Cat Abu Ghazali. I don't mean the memes in the way that, like, Elon's always referencing 4chan shit, but, like, the pulse of the culture, what the audience is actually prioritizing and what grabs their attention. That is an effective organizational muscle. When I was earlier being so reactionary and like no memeing, I was thinking of the Elon Musk, Donald Trump, we're going to put a Star Wars picture on the whitehouse.gov, and instead of anything productive going on, liberals are just going to get in the sandbox with us and want to argue about Star Wars. But I bring that up because Gangs of New York does document political machines, which I'll get more to after these mummies.
Watch out, or else they'll turn you into one of their own. Spray the backs of those embalmed punks.
Embalmed punks. All right, it's time for Tagger's Tag. Dang.
The Immortals are tearing up Highway 0. You're on top of it, right? Don't let me down.
We've done it, gang. We've left a mark. I think Highway 0, I just keep going. Like, Gangs of New York by Herbert Asbury is another book from the 1920s, just like Jack Black's You Can't Win. In a similar way, it documents, well, no, so Jack Black's You Can't Win's an autobiography, late 1880s into early 1900s. Highway 0. Gangs of New York is a larger historiography. It goes all the way back to the 1800s. Oh man, the Immortals are sacrificing our friends.
And rescue Yo-Yo.
Dang. Alright. But Gangs of New York is a historiography. It's part journalism, part anecdotal. Herbert Asbury collects both, evidence and folktale. Urban legend makes up part of the book, but he doesn't mix them. He does make the distinction and tell you when things are going weird. And like, you can definitely tell when they're talking about stuff like the myth of Mose that it's not the same thing as when we're reading about Tammany Hall. But I bring up Tammany Hall because that was a political machine. That was how politicians in New York garnered favor. They did things for the people. And I've said it before, it's not bad that politicians do things to win votes. That's the whole point. It's kind of weird when a politician loses an election and the electorate gets blamed. Like, no, that's always been to me a mark that the politician doesn't know what they're asking for from the people, or who the people are they're trying to get stuff from. That's why as a politician you gotta kind of know the memes. You gotta be ahead a bit on the pulse. You gotta understand the culture that's not on broadcast, kind of in a similar way to what we've been talking about here, where there's underrepresented groups that have to form alternate networks to mainstream society for being, perhaps set aside by law or social mores. But eventually, if, the society is such that too many people are not being benefited by the mainstream, the person who knows how to get outside of that network and deliver something new to people is going to conquer. Where is this mommy? There you are. Oh, he got stuck. Oh no.
The radio show that your parents, the PTA, and the FBI don't want you to hear. Jet Set Radio! The GG's, Stokely, the Immortals trap, hook, line, and sinker, baby. The Immortals sure played it smooth. I mean, who would have thought that Yo-Yo would turn on his friends? Guess maybe they are royalty after all.
See, it's interesting too, because Yo-Yo's the dude you play as in the tutorial.
The Rikaku Expo Stadium.
Oh man.
Just off 99th Street. The members of the noise tanks have just jacked into the power supply of the stadium, which is being built for the Rikaku Expo. I got a bad feeling that something wicked's about to go down.
We're gonna be gum.
That's right.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh yeah, I loved to rollerblade as a kid. A round of death ball? Oh no. That's pretty cold. Oops. Sorry, Jazz. Okay. We've been kidnapped for some sort of death race. All right. Where is Jazz? There we go. Cool, cool. Rollerblading and bicycling were the two real fun sports. I liked skateboarding, but I didn't really have access to getting like a good board or really any good skate parks or stuff nearby to really actually utilize it. I'd ride it on a sidewalk, that's about it. But I would rollerblade places. Let's activate this save point first. It is interesting that the Immortals apparently do human sacrifice, but again, just the crushing demands of capital. They make themselves part of the architecture of the oppressive side of the system. They have one of the scarier, harder to navigate maps as well, with death pits. There's a cruel inevitability to them. They are the crushing thumb of just zombie labor. There's an interesting thematic evolution of the games where once again the poison jam are kind of toxic in the sewers, a byproduct of the toxic gang culture. And then within that same gang culture you have the Immortals, who are features of, functions of, and in service to the Imperial Project. Too scared of falling, balancing it great. That's also why, of all of it, rollerblading was probably what I did the most, because, you know, you had a lot of control on 2 feet. It was also very easy to swap them out with shoes. Alright, let's death race. I keep just picking the wrong... Okay. Let's death race, gang.
And now everybody's favorite extreme sport, the game where everyone risks their lives for a shot at street stardom. Death Ball! And yours truly, DJ Professor K will bring you the action with live coverage from the future site of the Tokyo Rokaku Expo Stadium. Let the games begin, baby. First up, we have those hard-headed bikers, the Doom Riders versus the GGs.
All right, I guess Jazz is just a GG now.
3, 2, 1, go! The Doom Riders used to be called Hell Bikers, but it seems they got their skulls pulverized in a tangle with the Rokaku police. No, seriously. And now they've had their skulls replaced with helmets. Ooh, scary.
So it's pretty cool how DJ Professor K is going to catalog the guys we're fighting here. It's very similar to the way in the Warriors, the radio DJ announces kind of play-by-play what's going on with the Warriors as they wander through the night. We watched the Warriors on our Discord this Saturday. We're going to watch Gangs of New York this upcoming weekend. There's a lot of movement going on right now outside of the streaming space in my life, so I don't have an exact schedule figured out, but Gangs of New York, Tokyo Tribe, we're going to watch those. They fit into the thematic of outlaws, gangs, and also just Shibuya-kei, hip-hop culture, the pressing of caricature so hard it becomes satire, all those wonderful things. But for right now, I gotta win this death race. It is interesting to look up and actually see these skyscrapers and stuff from the other area. I think we see that Faro Park District towers around us.
The GGs win! The Doom Riders have been knocked out cold. Can't collect insurance in hell, boys.
But I mean, something that does feel cartoonish about Gangs of New York, the book, is the way it catalogs the various gangs. The Dead Rabbits, Bill the Butcher, just various characters with mantles and... Ooh, let's save. That is part of why the book is so beloved, is because it is a catalog of characters, and while it is grounded for most of it, there's still a mythical nostalgia. Oh boy.
The Immortals versus the GGs.
The Scorsese movie is just one event from many depicted in Gangs of New York. But one of the more important reasons Gangs of New York has survived as a document is because it does go into detail on the 1863 draft riots, or was it 62? The draft riots regarding the Civil War. It's a great document to see that there were protests at the time against the Civil War and that there was strife, even up north, over that kind of stuff. And also just the general anti-draft sentiment. It's older in America than Vietnam. We'll put it that way. Again, May 4th, Kent State. Glad everyone could be here to remember that with us today. I better lock in and stop going the wrong direction in this death race. Oops. Okay, cool. Oh, that does reset the goal though. Good to know. I was trying to boost. Let's just leave these mummies in the dust and gain some speed grinding. So this is called the Rokaku, the future side of the Rokaku Stadium. For those just tuning in, it hasn't been a major feature so far, but Rokaku Goji is a corporate bad dude who seems to own everything, including the private police force that's constantly harassing us as we're trying to do the streets good. Something I've yet to really point out, and something I never really caught on to as a kid, is the detail of the environmental storytelling going on regarding Rokaku Goji. While most of the plot of the game deals with various antics the intra-gang warfare creates, there's a lot of little environmental details as far as structures Goji owns, or pieces of machinery, or names of the stadium.
Yeah, the GGs win. Those dried up punks ain't got no guts.
The detail of world this game paints more than makes up for how kind of basic a lot of the challenge of it is. You explore like a very well thought out world.
Now for round trade, the missionaries of love and death. The Love Shaka versus... Oh, wouldn't you know it? The GGs again.
The GGs are climbing up.
Finally starting to slow down. That's got to be a part of the Noise Tank's game plan.
I ain't afraid of no noise tanks.
3, 2, 1, go! Preaching a message of love and death. It's that lovable team of psychos, the Love Shaka. Who's gonna bear the brunt of their message today?
Yeah, we got this. No, this is actually an original universe, Arash Mickey. There was a game on the Dreamcast called Jet Grind Radio. This is not necessarily a sequel to it, it's kind of a spiritual remix. It features the same characters and kind of setting, but it's a bit slower, it's a bit less focused on the story and the speed, and it's more about it's kind of like a score chase game. There's individual levels instead of an open world, And you gotta do like, you know, in here there's certain times where you have to tag up areas. That's pretty much all Jet Grind Radio is. Each level you're supposed to, you know, tag it up, but there's a timer, and the movement's a bit slower. It's a bit of a different type of challenge, and I kind of like the way this game prioritizes like mood and story and world building over being like a challenging arcadey wrestle with the controls, because I always felt at war with the controls of Jet Grind Radio. Oh wow.
These party crashers are messing everything up. It would be nice if the police were just here to watch, but no, they forced their way right into the game. Oh man, I hope the Rudies don't blow it by losing their heads and running away.
Someone was kind enough to let me know you're here. Now's my chance to take care of you once and for all.
The chief of police is back.
Like last time. Resistance is
like last time, eh?
Just accept your fate. Don't try any funny business either. It's already getting late.
The Lukaku police's terror drone showed up again. Get rid of them for good this time, man. I'm telling you.
This is what happens when you don't defund the police. Ooh. Ooh, this is going bad. All right, let's get back to it. Oof, 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 oof. Okay. So it's under it.
Guinea pigs? What was I thinking?
Cool. Those things ain't nothing but scrap metal now.